With Phrolova being announced as a playable character, I was excited to see that we will get our first playable villain. Someone officially part of the Phraxidus, however, a lot of people seem to be under the impression that she'll be redeemed, that she's not actually a villain. It had me wondering, how much of the story did they skip? Phrolova is a straight up monster, a demon, and like CJ the Champ would say, you already know we got the evidence on deck, so let's go ahead and dive into why Wuwa's latest waifu is on trial for crimes against humanity. Starting of course with Exhibit A, attempted murder, inventing new crimes, and human experimentation. Phrolova has a list of crimes that would make a certain painter blush, and no, I'm not talking about Zhezha. When we first meet Phrolova, it is with Scar, so right off the rip we have an accessory to kidnapping and attempted manipulation. She didn't really do anything too bad here, just an accessory to Scar's crimes. However, when we next see her, she's creating an entire army of tacit discords to send to Jinzhou in order to resurrect the Thernodian. This is the same as summoning a bunch of smaller demons to kill people so that way you can summon Satan himself. She's responsible for all of the property damage and death that happened there as a result. This is incitement to war and violence. Things are so bad, Jinzhou needs to rely on the help of children in order to stop everyone from dying. We've got Ling Yang, which, well, to be honest with you, killing him is justified. But the world's most depressed botanist is there trying to heal people. Just let her have some happiness for once in her life. Guess we can tack on child endangerment to her list of crimes as well while we're at it. I mean, it fits the agenda, so why not? Things don't stop there, however. Zhue being trapped by the Phraxidus? Yeah, that was in part her. She's responsible for studying the Second Awakening and perfecting the artificial resonator. And if this was one of her larger projects, just how many smaller studies did she do on normal people and resonators to even reach the conclusion she needs to do one on them? To be honest, the evidence is kind of inconclusive, so we will just say that she was overseeing an unjust kidnapping of a god that protects humanity, unethical experimentation, inhumane experimentation, and of course, she said she would go and free Scar from prison, so we can slap breaking and entering onto her as well. However, this isn't all. Phrolova would later on in Renacida attempt to perform mass murder on Raguna on several occasions. Let's start with Lorelei, the Queen of the Night. She caused her to tweak out and nearly caused the destruction of the entire city, so we can also add trespassing onto this. Let's also not forget Cetus the Tidebreaker, which attacked Rover, meaning that's attempted murder as well as more property damage due to Alto's boat being destroyed. Then also with the performance at the Carnival, where the only reason she didn't start killing everyone was because she's a sadistic monster who saw everything as a show and herself as a musician. Remember, she was the conductor everyone was referring to. She was going to have the Dragon of Dirge, Lorelei, and Cetus attack at the same time. Because of this, we can also get her on mass manipulation due to manipulating the Order and Thessalias, and normal manipulation for manipulating a few key select individuals, and of course, attempting to manipulate Rover. Oh, let's also not forget attempting to use her forte that controls humans on Rover, essentially tried to force enslave Rover. Thankfully, Shorekeeper's resonance keeps Rover's frequency stable and he could resist it. Her crimes do not end there, however. In Septima, she straight up invented a brand new one, forcing two people into frequencies to suffer from the dark tide until someone comes along to kill them, that person being Rover. Phrolova could have just put them out of their misery, but decided, nah, I want them to suffer. And let's also have this nobleman here watch for his entertainment. Like, what level of cruelty do you even have to be to think of this? This is the same woman who creates terrible snacks and feeds them to gondolas after all, which, might be the worst crime she's done. Subjecting a poor, innocent Echo to her cooking. Ugh. Oh, and one more tiny little eensy-weensy detail she's done. She's an accessory to genocide. That's the goal of the Phraxidus after all, the annihilation of humanity. She's fighting for an ideology that promotes eugenics, genocide, murder, theft, etc. All because they believe in a greater good which might actually not even be possible, mind you. This isn't even counting the fact Phrolova said she needed to give Cristoforo's plan a little nudge because not enough suffering was happening. Like, who even is this woman? Who hurt her? Why is she this way? Hopefully we'll actually find out when her story quest drops. This is a list of crimes that would have gotten the death sentence in any regime at any point in history. These are only the ones we have seen. None of these are from her past, which, according to the people of Septimont, she's performed more crimes. These are crimes that you hear about in a World War II documentary. There is no world where she is redeemable. Now then, for Exhibit B, we'll have to wait until her story quest comes out and more of the Septimont storyline is showcased. And the continuation of the main story itself, of course. Because who knows, we might get some very necessary context to some of these crimes she's allegedly done in the past. That, or we might come to find out she didn't actually free Scar and Scar freed himself since, well, he can teleport. But with all of that said, can she be understood? Is Phrolova misunderstood? I believe so. I believe that through mutual understanding we can uplift ourselves and those around us. She might be irredeemable, but she might not be the monster I've just portrayed her to be. I'm not going to say anything like Phrolova was forced to do it or she was just listening to the Fraxidus leader because those aren't logical arguments. And they aren't legal defenses either, which of course is the entire point of this satirical courtroom. Ultimately, at best, she can use the rest of her life helping and performing good. It wouldn't erase the crime she's done. Just because Rover survived them all, and by extension the player, doesn't negate the harm she has done. While yes, this is a video game, let's look at things from the perspective of someone who lives within it though. Would you really want her to take your brother, turn him into a monster, and then see her on a date with the only person who is good? Absolutely not. The point is that we should remember our own hypocrisies, and look at things through other perspectives in an attempt to reflect on them and to fight them. I do not believe that Phrolova will be redeemed, but instead that Curl will have us sympathize with her and understand her, that ultimately she will still be part of the Fraxidus. Perhaps we may fight her in the future, and perhaps she may help us. Whatever best fits her symphony. Though let us remember that thanks to Shorekeeper, Rover sounds good and pleasing to Phrolova. She wouldn't become a waifu out of nowhere. Is that through all of the screams of despair she hears, there is a soft, calming, and beautiful tone being played through Rover's frequencies because he resonates with the Shorekeeper. I would not be upset if Phrolova joined the Black Shores simply to listen to the Rover and the Shorekeeper play piano together. I believe that, in part, Phrolova craves a past or a certain ideal of peace that is unattainable, or that she views as unattainable by humans. That the Fraxidus offer the best solution to what she views as a problem, with the two of them, as in Rover and Phrolova, having a, perhaps in another life, we could have been friends, type of relationship between them. This video is just a reminder that when it comes to characters who can and cannot be redeemed, it is ultimately up to the author, as these are their characters and it is their story. Complaints about whether or not she should or shouldn't don't even make that much sense. The only thing that matters is what the author has written. Our interpretations come second. But let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Is she a monster, or was she just being a little silly? Perhaps because of that eye patch, her vision was clouded and she didn't mean to do all of those things. Whatever the case, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.
Splendid performance.